Well, that's it. Kansas State wins. Game-winning field goal in overtime. Kansas State beats TCU 31-28. What a great game. How can you not pull for Max Duggan, too, the quarterback for TCU? If y'all watched that game, you know what I'm talking about. Unbelievable performance by him. But TCU comes up short and takes their first loss of the season to Kansas State. So shout out to Kansas State. They win the Big 12 title. This is going to be interesting to see what happens here. Does Kansas State stay at 3, or do they drop them down to 4? Because if they drop, not Kansas State, TCU. If they drop TCU down to 4, that would be Georgia versus TCU and Ohio State versus Michigan in the playoffs. If they leave TCU at 3, then it'll be Michigan versus TCU and Georgia versus Ohio State. It'll be curious to see how the playoff committee handles that tomorrow. I'm almost glad TCU lost, because now you're going to have the Alabama fans the whole rest of the day, today, Saturday, and all tomorrow morning, Sunday, thinking they have a chance to get into the playoffs at the 4 spot. It's hilarious to me. These Alabama fans have been running around for 2 weeks now talking about how they're getting in at the 4 spot. You're not getting in. Bama's 10-2. They don't have a single good win. Not one. TCU's got 2 or 3 wins better than anything you have. You're not getting in at 10-2. Didn't win your division. Sorry. Maybe next year do a little bit better. Win some games that matter. Maybe even, win your division. Earn your way into a conference championship game like my Georgia Bulldogs did. They're getting ready to kick off against LSU right now. I'm live streaming that game on Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, make sure you head over here, hang out with us, and watch the SEC title game. It's just getting ready to start now here in a few minutes. There's a link in the description of this video that'll take you to the Patreon page if you want to look around. Get yourself signed up. Come watch the SEC title game with us. But what a hell of a game here, this Big 12 title game, TCU and K-State. TCU screwed that thing up at the end. They got the ball first. In overtime, they get all the way down to the 1-yard line. They go for it on 4th down from inside the 1-yard line in overtime. I don't disagree with the decision to go for it necessarily, but you got to put the ball in Max Duggan's hands there. They line up I formation, run it up the middle with the tailback there off left guard, and lost a yard. And that was it. Kansas State came out. All they had to do was kick a field goal, game over. You got to go shotgun there if you're TCU, spread the field out, and give Max Duggan a run-throw option. Let him sprint out left or right. Throw it if he can. If not, let him take off. I don't like that play call there at all. In fact, the last 2 plays, 3rd and goal from the 1 and then 4th and goal from the 1, just 2 handoffs to the tailback. I didn't like that. Max Duggan's the best player. He was unbelievable in this game. And you took the ball out of his hands on the 2 most important plays of the year for TCU. Bad coaching there. Bad play calling, at least, in my opinion. But TCU will be in the playoffs. 3-point loss here to Kansas State. They beat Kansas State earlier in the year. TCU finishes 12-1. Comes up a little short in the Big 12 title. They'll still get in. Do they stay at 3? Or do they drop to 4? That'll be what we have to watch tomorrow as far as the playoff committee goes. That's, of course, assuming Georgia and Michigan win today, which both of them should. They're both basically 17-point favorites. Teams just now taking the field here in the SEC title game. They're interviewing Brian Kelly and asking him about his family. The trainable retarded. Yeah, that's what Brian Kelly, the trainable retarded there. Anyway, what a great game, TCU and Kansas State. What a great game. Anyway, all right, I'm going to get off of here. Congratulations again to Kansas State. I'll be on YouTube tonight for the ACC title game and the Big Ten title game, Michigan versus Purdue and Clemson versus North Carolina. Georgia LSU game streaming right now on Patreon. Make sure you check it out. All right, have a good morning.